try to do just the opposite.
High fly ball, deep left field. Oh, 27 does it again.
Gone. Fernando Tatis Jr. with a 2-run shot has the Padres on the board. Ball and 2 strikes to Shohei here. Oh,
Got it! 33!
Oh, wow. Where did that one go? That's his 11th.
Driven out to deep center field. Going back, Springer, turning, looking, see ya! Oh, what a shot by Judge! The Yankees lead 1-0.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to a long-awaited, weirdly delayed several thousand times 28th episode of Free Baseball, presented by the Athletes Hub and presented by me and Jay Crumpler. I'm Davis Bird. That is Jay Crumpler, as you can see on the screen. We have a bunch of stuff on the rundown, so weirdly, I'm gonna let Jake take the lead on the first thing because we're a little strapped for time, but that's okay. No more 3-hour pods today. Next time. So we'll hit the high notes and we'll kind of go over some things since you haven't seen us for a while. Go take it away, Jake. Start off with our first thing to talk about.
Yeah, so we're just going to hit hot players like we always do. These are since our last podcast, which was August 17th. So actually, it's not as long as the wait between our last two podcasts because we did the one on like right before the deadline, and then we last podcasted the 17th, and now we're on September 1st. So, hey, it's only been like 15 days. Not too bad. But yeah, the hot players since August 17th on the offensive side have been Lars Nootbaar, who's batted .291 with 5 dingers and a steal, but that comes along with a crazy high walk rate and a .655 slug. So he's been just killing it in the second half of August, and now for the season he's got 10 dingers and a 135 WRC plus. Do the Cardinals really need anybody else? Like, they got Arenado, they got Goldie, and they got, a really solid team. Do they really need another guy who's got a sick name to be awesome? What do you think, Davis?
Sorry, I'm trying to find the meme that I sent you. That was Foolish Baseball saying call her Lars the way she newt on my bar.
Oh God.
What a tweet.
I know that one.
What a tweet. What a name.
That to me.
I totally did. That's what I was looking for. Love Lars Nootbaar. That name is excellent. One of the top baseball names of the last 10 years. Hate that he's on the Cardinals.
Grade.
80 grade name. 80 grade name for sure. I'm tired of the Cardinals. I'm so tired of the Cardinals making players.
Hey man, just wait for the playoffs, bro. We're just gonna see. I feel like they're gonna do really well, and it's gonna be.
Lars Nootbaar is gonna turn into in his prime Ted Williams in the playoffs for the stupid St. Louis Cardinals.
Hey, that's how what he was been doing the last 2 weeks. 21% walk rate with a 12.7% strikeout rate.
I know.
While hitting for power, like I don't know, he's hit half of his dingers in the past 2 weeks. He's really good. Pretty cool that they're just pumping out guys like they always do. Not cool for a Cubs fan, but cool for people that don't hate the Cardinals. Yeah,
everyone hates the Cardinals.
On the pitching side, we've got Patrick Sandoval, who has made 3 starts since our last podcast. His first one was one of the best starts of the year. He threw a complete game shutout against the Tigers, where he struck out 9 batters. He threw a Maddox, which means he had a shutout in less than 100 pitches. Took him 97 pitches. That's his second Maddox of the season, following Jordan Montgomery's just a few days before that. He had 26 whiffs and a 41% CSW in that start, and then he followed it up with a 6-inning 1-earned run 5K outing against the Rays with 10 whiffs, and then he shut down the Yankees just yesterday across 7 innings, allowing only 2 runs, striking out 7, inducing 17 more whiffs and a 40% CSW. 40% CSW is just absolutely elite. The fact that he's done that 2 out of his last 3 starts is really impressive. I'm sure it's because of his changeup. I'm going to pull up his pitcher list player page because those are really good if you're trying to analyze pitchers. And I'm not just saying that because I write for Pitcher List, but they've got great stuff on there. But now for the season, he's got a 3.02 ERA and a 1.34 whip with a 24.2% strikeout rate across 122 innings. It's not the best whip, but he's been serviceable, especially for an Angels team that just doesn't know what a pitcher is.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be the one, I know there was hype around him before the start of the season. Doesn't he have a nickname? I swear he has a nickname.
The Irish Panda is what.
That's
Nick
what I
Pollack
thought.
calls him.
Yeah, I knew he had some sort of panda-related nickname because of the Sandoval thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, his changeup this year, gnarly. Good Lord. What is that?
It was his slider doing most of the work in that start against the Tigers. He had 12 whiffs with the slider, and then against the Yankees, he had 6 with the slider and 7 with the changeup. The slider has become his second most used pitch. That's pretty interesting. So he's got 2 incredible off-speed pitches to go along with a pretty mediocre fastball.
Yeah, so the mediocre fastball is kind of the issue. Opposition is currently hitting 366 with an expected batting average of 318 and a slug of 538 against that, which is not ideal. But
No,
the
that
slide
sounds pretty good.
Is it? Like the batting average in XBA though on a slider, gnarly. 197 batting average to 11 XBA, 270 slug, and then it's kind of similar a little bit. It's like really similar for the changeups, 220 batting average, which is a lot worse than 197, which is still good though. 212 XBA, 284 slug, and both of them kind of riding the same. Almost a 28% put away percent slider, and then a 26% put away on the changeup. So it's like off speed to complement that.
Pretty impressive.
Not good fastball, but
yeah, that
if it's working, it's working.
24.8% swinging strike rate is the 4th best among starters changeups.
That is really good. He is in the interestingly enough, he's in the 7th percentile for fastball spin. So he has like a no spin slider or a no spin fastball. That's awesome. I love that.
That's what you want.
Put that man in Coors. He would be dirty in Coors. Good God.
That's actually a good point. I wonder if the Rockies will actually do anything about that, which I'm sure they won't.
Well, yeah. Maybe they'll get him when he's 45.
Well, we talked about a Cardinal and Lars Nootbaar. Should we talk about Albert M. effing Pujols closing in on 700 home runs? Pass.
Pass. No, I'll absolutely talk about Albert. Yeah, Albert is one of the GOATs of baseball, obviously. And what is the number that he's at now?
694, right?
690. Yeah, 694. Chasing 700's got a little bit of time to go. I hope he gets it. That's so sick. I hope he gets it, even though I'm obviously not a Cardinals fan. Pujols is baseball. Like he's a huge part of like my baseball childhood, and I know he's part of your baseball childhood for sure. But yeah, like he deserves everything. I hope he can get it. Interestingly enough, I think this was the first year that he's actually eclipsed 1 WAR in the past 7 seasons. I need to find that again.
The last time he eclipsed 1 WAR was 2015.
Yep. So
correct.
The last time he has eclipsed WAR was 2016.
That's 0 WAR. Or you might be looking at BREF.
Yeah, I'm looking at BREF.
Okay. Well, only losers go on Baseball Reference, bro.
Wow. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Yeah, according to Fangraphs, your first assertion was correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild. He hit 40 home runs in 2015. That's crazy. Right now, his 140 WRC plus is his best since 2011, his last year in St. Louis.
He hit 40 home runs that year. He's only worth 3 B WAR. Good Lord, bro.
And 1.6 F WAR.
What a guy. He was really good.
Just a legend. Yeah, he's 2 home runs behind Alex Rodriguez now. So at least as long as he passes A-Rod, like gets to 697, that's what he's ultimately shooting for at the very least. But I think everybody's rooting for 700. He hit 8 home runs in August, which placed him second in the MLB, which is wild. That a 42-year-old man, supposedly, who could also be like 45, is 52. Hitting like that. Yeah, 52.
That 65-year-old man is clubbing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild what he's doing. But yeah, I love to see it. I would love to see him get 700. He was my favorite player growing up, and it was mostly because he got me into stats because he had those consecutive years of like batting 300 with 30 homers and 100 RBI to start his career. And so that was one of the things that got me into baseball, and I loved him from the start. They won the World Series pretty in my childhood too. So that was pretty interesting.
Albert
sick.
Midholes. Albert Midholes.
Yeah. Anytime you tell like somebody who doesn't watch baseball about Albert Pujols, they go, "Who? Pujol? Pujol?" You're just like, yes.
Yeah, that guy.
Butthole. That guy. Yeah. Albert Butthole. Yeah, exactly.
That guy. Albert Midholes.
Well, let's hit the weekly mini drafts real quick. This turned into a monthly draft because we haven't covered it since last August 1st. So it's literally been exactly a month, but that sort of works out perfectly because it's a lot easier to look at player stats from a month-long standpoint, at least to look them up and write them into the rundown for me. So here are the players. We were drafting second baseman, trying to come up with basically the best 3 second basemen we could amongst the choices that I made with 3 tiers. Davis chose Marcus Semien, Gleyber Torres, and Christopher Morel. I chose Jose Altuve, Ketel Marte, and Colton Wong. And the 3 players that went unchosen were Luis Arias, Whit Merrifield, and Gavin Lux. I'm just going to say Gleyber Torres had a 29 WRC plus and Morel had a 55 WRC plus, while Semien was barely above 100. Yeah, Davis was not really in contention. I had Altuve go off for a 175 WRC plus, and Wong was really solid as well with a 135 WRC plus. Ketel Marte held me back down at 39 WRC plus, batting under 200, but it was enough to fend off the unpicked players who went for 104 WRC plus from Arias, 70 for Whit Merrifield, and 124 for Gavin Lux, which is pretty solid. But yeah, I think I finally won. I think that gives me 2 wins. I beat you in the starting pitchers, and we've done 3. We got beat by the unpicked guys in first base.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm chasing W number 1. Haven't gotten it
yet. Yeah, well, you're running out of time.
Yeah, kind of, unfortunately.
So next podcast, I'll set up another draft for us to do. Didn't have much time to do that, and we also don't have much time to go through that right now, but that'll definitely be something we'll be continuing, especially over the off season. We'll have to figure out things because that's not something you can do like a fantasy draft of, but I think we can do, because I loved when we did free agent predictions.
Yeah, that one was
during
really
the lockout.
If we could find something like that, because a lot of them ended up being, I did. You got trashed. Yeah. I can play, pretend baseball. Where's this guy gonna go? Apparently, in terms of like, is this player gonna decide to forget how to hit a ball? Pretty bad at that so far.
Yeah. Well, you'll have your chance at redemption. I'm sure we'll have lots of time for drafts in the off season. But now I guess we might as well get to the crux of the show. I'll let you get back over on the reins and take over for the month in review as we just run down the league leaders from the month of August.
Absolutely. So the league leaders, of course, like we did this last month when you guys saw us last, month in review, AL average leader, since we'll start with that. Nathaniel Lowe this time. A funny little anecdote talking about that name. Nathaniel, of course, of the Texas Rangers, that kind of just got thrown away by the Rays, right? Kind of a big.
I don't think it was thrown away. I forget who they got in return for him. I have to look at the Rays roster.
Is he still on the team?
Yeah.
If not, he got thrown away.
Bro, if it was a trade,
he's from Norfolk. Shout out to fellow Virginia man Nathaniel Lowe, aka the GOAT. Oh yeah, he got traded. He got traded for. He got traded for Heriberto Hernandez, Osleivis Basabe, and Alexander Avias. I don't know.
Okay, so a bunch of low-level minor leaguers. Okay, well that's fine.
Yeah, no.
Can't really grade that.
Terrible trade. I can. Terrible trade. He hit 389 for the month.
He's been killing it this year. He's up to 301 on the season with 22 dingers, when I really thought last year was he was overperforming a little bit. He had a 339 BABIP. It's up to 359 now, but he's got a 143 WRC plus, and he's already set a new career high in homers, and he's just killing it. He's just being more aggressive. He's striking out less and walking half as much as he did last year. So I think he's just being more aggressive. I'm going to look up his swing rate and stuff, but do you have any other thoughts on him?
This is obviously just going to be a big piece of the Rangers' potential rebuild. Everyone talks about Semien and Seager being like the big gets in free agency with this guy. I mean, like, he's doing this. He has 1 year currently of service time. He's 27, so I mean they're going to have him his whole prime, and then they'll basically just be able to get rid of him most likely, because I can't imagine that they'll hold on to him when he's done with that. They maybe will. We'll see. But really underrated kind of player here for the Rangers. That's just since he's performing so well, he plays for the Rangers, so nobody really outside of the major baseball sphere knows. 301 average on the year, of course, if you're into traditional stats. 301 average, 352 on base now for the season, and almost a 500 slug for the season, 498 with 143 WRC plus, which is just very, as Jake already said, just really good.
He was just too patient last year. He's upped his swing rate 8% in the since last year. So he's really like being a lot more aggressive at the plate, both in and out of the zone. I think it's more in the zone than out. Nope, both. I think he's just swinging more, and it's paying off. He's been killing it after a slow start, and 143 WRC plus. He's better than Albert Pujols.
Wow, that's unimaginable. The NL leader in average for the month was Jeff McNeil, known contact man of the New York Mets. This is not really a major surprise. Jeff McNeil, when he gets really hot, he already has insanely good bat to ball skills. He's always, a guy that's like hitting 300, or like, I think he has only had one season where he hasn't hit over 300
last year.
And that was last year. And didn't he deal with like up and down consistency and injury last year?
I think he was just on my fantasy team.
Probably. Boy, he's worth 4.6 F4 this year. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's the fielding. He's pretty good in the field, but also batting 318, 138 WRC plus, 7 dingers. Yeah, I still can't believe that 2019 season where he hit 23 home runs. Where did that come from?
You could take one of those balls and throw it from home plate and it'd probably get out.
Yeah, the juiced balls were ridiculous, and it's going to be something interesting to look back on like a few years from now, where you're just like, I'm excited to see Jeff McNeil. I mean, he's 30 now, but like by the time he's 36 and he's got like a full like player page on Fangraphs, it's just going to be like 9 home runs as his career high, and then you're just like, 23. How did he do that?
I think he'll hit 10 this year. He's going to get 10.
7 already. We'll see. And he's got less homers than Luis Arias, so
he'll hit 10. Mark my words. He's hitting 10.
They're marked.
Hitting 10. Going down the list, of course, also hits leaders. We talked about him too. Nathaniel Lowe with 42. Tied this time with Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil's average, of course, since I think I skipped over that for the month, was 385. So not all of baseball, but all of the NL leader there. But yeah, they be Jeff McNeil, Nathaniel Lowe. They do be hitting.
Oh, yeah.
Onto runs. This one's a little surprising for me. I had not realized he has had a relatively decent month here. The AL leader in runs for the month was Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros with 27. And the NL leader was Mookie Betts with 30, which Mookie Betts, of course, is like, he's been doing that all year. At one point, I think he was on like pace to be to score the most runs in a season.
Yeah, super early on, and he got injured and he slowed down a lot. I don't know what he's at now, let's see.
Runs
looks
for the
like
year.
He's got 101. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Woo! Love the Dodgers.
Oh man.
What a
32 dingers too. What a baseball team.
Yeah. When you get an MVP every single year, you might as well just be. Did you hear that they had like the best stretch of 162 games?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did see that.
Nice. So
they only would have lost like 20 games or something.
Yeah, and they've got the second best farm system in baseball currently.
Oh, it makes sense.
Yeah, it really doesn't. It's really upsetting for me. But yeah, I mean, let's not talk about Mookie. Let's talk about Bregman. I know everybody hates him, but I've always liked him. He's just super good in the type of fantasy leagues that I play in. He batted 362 this month and was just killing it. I think his WRC plus for the month was 217, his best month of the season. And he was just looking like old Alex Bregman again, hitting for some power, getting on base a lot, not striking out, which is what you like to see. Astros are the second best team in baseball.
on the year, Alex Bregman is doing the thing. He's doing the thing that makes me and Jake just explode.
Walking more than he's striking
Walking
out.
more than he's striking out.
Let's go.
Let's go. I love
Pumps
I
me
love
up, fires me up.
It really
Bregman
gets me
said,
going.
I'm gonna
Really
watch
gets me going.
this. I'm gonna fire up the boys, and he's just like takes a walk.
It's like everyone ever just blows up. You ever see like the meme where it's like the guys on the couch?
Yeah,
It's like hitting a dinger,
Yeah.
like taking a walk.
yeah,
Taking a walk.
that's a good
Yeah.
one.
So shout out to Bregman. Shout out to Mookie too. Hate that Mookie plays for the Dodgers because I really like that guy. But you know,
Oh, yeah.
101 runs is pretty good. I guess. You know. Home run leaders for the month. AL, Aaron Judge and Eugenio Suarez with 9. And then there's 3 of them. NL, I don't want to say it. Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt both have 9 to go with. Mookie Betts is 9. I hate the Cardinals, man. I wish they'd just go away.
Yeah,
Stupid-
they are
stupid
a
Brewers
storied
had to blow it.
franchise. It's gonna be hard to get rid of them.
Stupid Brewers blew it, and now they're not even leading the division anymore.
Yeah,
They're getting
yeah.
trashed. I
Hey
hate-
man, at least they got
hate
rid of Josh
those
Hader. That's been insane.
Yeah, they kind of got away with murder on that one because apparently Josh Hader can't throw baseball anymore.
I know. I could hit a home run off Josh Hader right now. I'm not even
Uh,
joking. He's terrible.
I might be
Yeah.
able to. I was gonna say I might be able to, but I probably can't still.
Hey man, I do a lot of hidden cat toys around my house with the baseball bat I got.
My man. My man.
Yeah, but the home run leaders were killing it. I didn't know Eugenio Suarez was doing this, so pretty cool to see him do
Good to
this,
see him on the
especially
season.
after drafted him super high last year in fantasy, like everywhere, and then he just was like the worst hitter in baseball history, and now he's dope again.
Stop
Aaron
drafting
Judge though, Aaron Judge had like a down month. Oh yeah, I know. Last season was I won the championship. I don't know how I did that. Aaron Judge somehow had a down month, and he still led the league in home runs, and now he's up to 51. So does he get to 60?
I think he'll get to 60, but like chasing like Maris's record off the table now.
Yeah, no, he's definitely slowed down somewhat, but I mean, this guy can hit 10 home runs in a week, so like you never know.
Yeah, that's true. Eugenio Suarez, though, he's somehow walking more and striking out more. And that doesn't make any sense. But Eugenio Suarez, he's hit 25 on the year, which is like pretty good by his standards. What was the year he hit like 40? Or he
47, I
almost hit
think.
49.
Holy
49
moly.
in 2019. Yeah, Eugenio Suarez, everyone knows he's got crazy power. He's kind of been up and down last few years.
Yeah.
That NL side, two Cardinals, disgusting.
We talked about all 3 of those guys all year. And Goldie is going to be the MVP. That's for sure. He's got a
hate that so
190
much.
WRC plus.
Norman Arenado is chasing him too.
Hall of
Mookie Betts.
Famers.
Mookie Betts
3
with
Hall
30.
of Famers.
Yeah, Mookie Betts with 32 on the year too. Like I said earlier, only 70 RBI. Garbage can.
Yeah, bro. If you're not getting RBIs, he's not even batting 300, is he? What a loser.
No, trash. I wouldn't want him on my team.
No, what? Yeah, no,
Wouldn't
definitely.
want him on my team.
Terrible.
I just searched Mookie Betts, and there's apparently a player named Cookie Lavagetto. So now I got to see that guy.
Okay. He's going to close out the podcast someday, I bet.
No. Nah, I don't think so. He was like a left fielder or something.
Interesting.
On to runs batted in. Some MF named Randy from the Tampa Bay Rays, Randy Arozarena, 23, also tied with Eugenio Suarez, like we said, with 9 home runs previously. And then the NL RBI leader for the month was Norman Arenado of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never not
Love-
going to call him Norman.
That's fine with me. Randy, though, he's been stealing bases like crazy recently. He's very close to a 2020 season. He's looking like he's on pace for an easy 2030 season at least. I think he was 25 last year, but I think with the amount of stolen bases he's been getting recently, he is now he's pretty close to leading the American League. He's trailing 2 Orioles in the American League in stolen bases. He's now up to 27, but we're talking about RBIs, and he's got 70, so he's as good as Mookie Betts.
That's true. He did have a 2020 season last year, not 2020, not 25.
Okay. Yeah, so he's doing better this year, and I feel like a lot of people thought he was going to fall off.
Yep. No. Randy is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Eugenio Suarez. Man, the Mariners are looking really dangerous.
America's
that lineup.
team, baby.
Absolutely. They're who I'm pulling for. It's so whack because like it's tough to pull for like who's the America's team. Is it the Mariners or is it the Orioles? Like
I
I'm
think it's the
leaning
Mariners because they haven't made the playoffs since 2001.
right, but the Orioles have been like very visibly the worst team in baseball over like the last few years.
I've always thought the debate was between the Mariners and the Angels because the Angels have everybody's favorite players in like Trout and Shohei. So everybody's rooting for the Angels. They want them to be good, but they suck. And then the Mariners, everybody just feels bad.
I'm also like firmly planted in like Orioles country, so like it's kind of like tough to say. On to steals. We talked about Randy, but he didn't lead the month in steals in the AL. That was Bubba Thompson, joined by Jake McCarthy from the NL, both with 8.
Couple rookies right there. Bubba Thompson stole 49 bases at AAA this season. Yeah. Now he's got 8 more. He's just been going crazy. I think he's got a pretty good stat cast. Like he's really fast. I think he hits the ball pretty hard and he's a good fielder, but he's mostly just really fast. He's been walking 3.8% of the time and striking out 30.8% of the time. So basically exact opposite of Alex Bregman in the plate discipline department. And he doesn't hit for a lot of power. So this is a speed first guy out in the outfield. So still cool to see him just like come up and just, I think he's played 23 games and stolen 8 bases. That's pretty solid.
That's pretty good. Jake McCarthy, on the other hand, kind of a weird stretch for him because he's played 71 games since his rookie season, worth 2 WAR, 71 games, and he only has 12 steals on the season, and he got 8 of them in a month.
Going off. Yeah.
Apparently.
Batted 308 in August as well, and he had a 140 WRC plus. He's been really good. I do playing time analysis at Baseball HQ for Giants, A's, and the Diamondbacks, so I've been doing a lot of research on Jake McCarthy and stuff, and he's been like surprisingly one of the better players on the Diamondbacks, which is pretty cool, that they're able to get some guys that perform pretty well. He's not striking out too much, 21% of the time, 123 WRC plus for the season. I sort of like what he's doing, to be honest. He's got that power speed combo that like in classic fantasy leagues where you need like homers and steals, basically that's about it. And batting average, he's like the ideal guy. So definitely somebody to watch because he's 24, same age as Bubba Thompson, but it'll be interesting to see because his profile seems a lot more sustainable.
Of course, he's got 6 stingers on the season to go along with 12 steals. Worth almost 2 WAR. Just really, really good. Considering he's a rookie with like half a season-ish under his belt. On to the OPS leaders, some names that we've already mentioned. AL, Alex Bregman with a 1.13 OPS, 1.133 OPS. Norman Arenado.
You messed up, bro.
With a 1.139 OPS. I won't do it again. He's Norman from now on.
Thank you.
Norman Arenado doing it for the Cardinals. Yuck. Do we need to keep talking about him?
No. Actually, we do because they're also the leaders in F4.
Exactly. I was going to get to that, unfortunately. But Alex Bregman led the AL, paced it, 2 WAR in a month, really good. And then Norman Arenado was like, look at me, I'm Norman Arenado. And he had 2.4 pacing all of baseball, 2.4 F4 for the month. Just really good. They're good baseball players. Who would have thought?
Not me.
Let's go to the pitching side, Mr. Pitcher List. AL wins leader, Framber Valdez. Framber's so good. I love that guy so much.
I'm looking for a stat about him right now. It's crazy.
I love Framber Valdez. And then the NL leader is Zach Gallen, tied with Framber Valdez for the most in baseball. They're both at 5. Framber's just so good. I hate gushing over him. Everyone knows how good Gallen is, but like Framber Valdez just doesn't get. He doesn't get any burn. No credit.
You ready for this one? This was posted the last time we did a podcast, so it could have changed since then. It's been 2 weeks. But Jeremy Frank at MLB Random Stats on Twitter tweeted 20 straight quality starts in a season. Did the player win the Cy Young that year? Jacob deGrom, 2018. Yes, sir. Bob Gibson, 1968. Yes, sir. Jake Arrieta, 2015. Yes. Chris Carpenter, 2005. Yes, sir. Johan Santana, 2004. Yes, he did. Mike Scott, 1986. Yep. And Louis Tiant, 1968, was the only pitcher since 1968 to post 20 straight quality starts and not win the Cy Young. And guess who has also done that in this season?
Remember all this?
Yes, sir. 20 straight quality starts. And this was 2 weeks ago. So like I can literally just check. Let's see.
He has
17th
20.
that was posted.
He has 22 consecutive quality starts.
Yeah, 2 more. Yeah, right there. I just saw it.
Would you like to hear a cool thing about that, Jake?
No.
That is
sure.
actually an Astros record. And it is the most consecutive quality starts by a left-handed pitcher since the earned run became official in 1913. So he is currently on the hottest
most ever
by a left-handed pitcher since the earned run became a thing in 1913.
What did they do before earned runs?
I'm pretty sure they just called it. I'm pretty sure they just didn't count it.
That's insane. And this
Yes,
guy
it
is not going to win the Cy Young.
No.
Because there's a guy on his own freaking team that is better than he is.
I hate that. I hate
That's
it
insane.
so much.
That's insane, bro. The Astros need to
Let me look up.
be in their own division with the Dodgers and just like play their own baseball, and then the rest of baseball can do their own thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Fromberg's got 14 wins on a season with a 2.63 ERA. He just doesn't strike guys out. 22.6%, better than I have, but 77th among starters, according to Pitcher List. But what he does do is get ground balls. He's got a 70% ground ball rate, which is the best in all of baseball among starters. I'm checking Clay Holmes to see if it's the best among all relievers or all pitchers, because Clay Holmes has a crazy ground ball rate. No, Clay Holmes has an 82%. Never mind. That's besides the point. But yeah, ground ball aficionado is Framber Valdez, and that's how he's been doing it, getting all these wins in the month of August.
Yeah, something I'm looking at from his Baseball Savant page is very fun. So he mainly throws the sinker. He throws it about half the time, 49.7% of the time throws the sinker. His main off-speed pitch that he throws is that curveball. That's 27% usage. What do you think the average launch angle on his sinker is?
Well, because he gets so many ground balls, I'm going to say it's like 5 degrees.
-5 degrees.
Holy, wow. Yep. No, but I think that's not in the air. It's just they're hitting that right into the ground. That's crazy.
Just smacking it straight into the ground. And it's funny because that's not even the highest, because his launch angle on his changeup is -11. And then he has a 40.
That's going backwards.
Yes, it is. It's like a 44.3% whiff percentage on his curveball and almost a 30% put away percent. So he's just destroying people. Sinker, curveball, changeup. That's it.
Holy moly. 83% ground ball rate on that changeup.
Sinker, curveball, changeup. It just kills everybody. He's just unstoppable.
Yeah, he's so good. And I was out on him this year a little bit. That's wild.
I'm a huge Framber Valdez guy.
This is going to be a Framber Valdez podcast.
Framber pod.
Yeah.
Moving on. Zach Gallen, of course, very good, but we already knew that. He's gotten his burn on here several times.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Is Zach Gallen for Jazz Chisholm like the best mutual trade ever?
The best win-win trade.
Yeah,
definitely of trade. Anything that I can think of right now, except for maybe that Nathaniel Lowe trade for Arelvis Basabe, Heriberto Hernandez. Yeah.
Heriberto.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, Zach Gallen's really good. Yeah, if only both of them were healthy, because it's definitely both of them are super talented, and both of them just struggle with injuries. Jazz has been out for months, and but Gallen's got a 2.53 ERA and a 0.94 WHIP, 25% strikeout rate, and he's been really solid. He's just got a really deep pitch mix, and he's somehow 10-2 on the terrible Diamondbacks. That doesn't make sense to me.
On to saves. This is a reliever pod. We're all about relievers.
Bro, I'm doing my reliever pod later.
Absolutely. Go watch that too. Make sure you watch that after this one.
Well, I wish it was video. It's audio only. So look out for it on the Pitcher List Podcast Network.
Go watch your computer screen while listening to it.
Watch the little thing go across the screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Saves leader for the AL and all of baseball is Liam Hendricks, the Chicago White Sox. And then we got a 3-way tie in the NL. Mr. Trumpet Man, Edwin Diaz, Narco himself, 6 saves this time. Kenley Jansen of the Atlanta Braves, and that man recently extended Daniel Bard 6 days.
The GOAT. Daniel Bard is the GOAT. That's crazy. Liam Hendricks has 9. He's been really great this month. He's not been as good as he was in past seasons, but he's still been very, very good, especially compared to the other guy that he was being compared to in the offseason, and Josh Hader. Hendricks definitely had been a better season than him, but the Daniel Bard stuff is funny. I don't know if we talked about it that much in the last pod, but like the extension is just still super funny to me. And then I think I had to have said it. No, I had to have said it that like after the deadline, they like were asking, I forget who the president of baseball ops is there, but
it's
Schmidt, Bill Schmidt.
Oh,
I think it's Bill Schmidt, but I think Bill Schmidt was the one who said it anyway, but they were like asking him about like, oh, why didn't you were the only team that didn't trade anybody during the deadline. And then he said like, oh, but we were the only team that extended somebody. And it was just like, wait, what planet are you on? Not only were they not the only team to extend somebody, they had the smallest extension out of the teams that extended somebody. Joe Musgrove had a $100 million extension, and Austin Riley had a giant like $200 million extension. What planet are the Rockies living on? Like they are just all over the place. It's so funny to me. I just we've been laughing about them all year, and they just keep one-upping themselves. I don't know how that's a major league franchise.
My favorite thing that I found while I was looking for this, trying to figure out who their team president was. Their general manager is Bill Schmidt. He's the one that's the quote, I'm pretty sure. I found this post from the Denver Post, and it says Rockies revamp front office with eye towards analytics. And literally the first thing I thought is like Dick Monfort just going like, what's all those other teams using? Why are we so bad? What's all those other teams using? Well, they have analytics departments. What is that?
Yeah.
What's that? So
bro,
there's numbers with baseball.
Last year they hired a guy for analytics, and then they fired him in like months later. And they just promoted like the video review guy to something like that, where he's now doing video review and analytics stuff. And it's just like, so he's definitely overwhelmed. Like, yeah, the Rockies are just a complete joke.
They got the pretzel vendor in their stadium too, and sabermetrics for him.
Bro, I don't know. I'm about to go to a game next weekend. I'm about to go to a Rockies game next weekend. Well, so I'll see if I can find Dick.
Maybe see if you can get it.
That sounds.
Maybe see if you can get a job.
Yeah, please, bro. Need to quit my job, to be honest, but that's not a baseball podcast thing.
ERA leaders. Irish Panda, as previously mentioned. Patrick Sandoval, ERA leader for the AL for the month, 1.39. The NL, Zach Gallen, sub 1 ERA, 0.68 ERA.
Well, this does not have anything to do with that, but I need to throw my computer in the trash can because I'm pretty sure I was at 75% when we started this podcast. I'm at 15% now, so I literally need to go run and get my charger.
That's okay.
But you can talk about the whip leaders.
I'll talk about the whip leaders. Go grab your chargers while I look some stuff up about Drew Rasmussen. Drew Rasmussen is the Tampa Bay Rays. Man, he's just really been good. 23 games this year, 23 starts, of course. The Rays just keep pumping out starters like it's nobody's business. Getting McClanahan and now Rasmussen to just complete that 1-2 punch. He's just so good. 3.24 FIP on the season, and obviously just the whip super, super low on the month. 0.67, which doesn't quite touch the NL leader, who everyone knows. But yeah, Rasmussen really, really sneakily good for the Rays, who just keep pumping out players like that. Just what a baseball team.
Yep.
Rays best of August. I just found this best of August for their pitchers. Just a little aside. Drew Rasmussen, 1.57 ERA, 0.67 whip, and a 160 batting average against. And then reliever against them, Pete Fairbanks had 10 2/3 innings pitched, 0.00 ERA, 14.34 Ks per 9. He has a 0.38 whip and a 0.088 batting average against. So the Rays just pitching factory like they've always been. Rasmussen, super, super good.
Is 0.00 good?
I think so.
I don't know much about baseball. Oh my god. I just pulled up Jacob deGrom's picture list page. They have like sort of like StatCast sliders, but not like that, where it's like rankings instead, and they're vertical. Everything just says first. Everything is bright red and just says first. He is the best in everything.
The Rays
He's been
sorry to cut you off. The
Go
Rays
ahead,
did a
go
Rays
ahead.
thing last night on Rasmussen. He got through 6 innings pitched, gave up 1 earned, 4 Ks, and they pulled him out when he was at like 72 pitches.
Yeah, no, they've been doing that. I think they pulled him after like 3 innings a few starts ago too, just for no reason. They said it was a baseball move, which yeah, that is a baseball move. It was in a baseball game. So
Epic baseball move.
yeah, I think they're just limiting his innings because he was a reliever with the Brewers before they acquired him from Milwaukee. And yeah, so he's like probably coming up on his career high in innings. He's at 116 innings, and across the past 2 seasons combined, which I don't know what he did in the minors, if he did in 2021 or in 2020, but the past 2 seasons combined, he's at like 91 innings pitched. So he's surpassed the past 2 years combined. But yeah, he's been pretty incredible. Just doesn't walk anybody. That's how you do it.
I gotta ask you, Jake, since I cut you off on it. Is Jacob deGrom any good?
I've never watched him pitch. I'm pretty sure he was like an August call up. So he's just like, he's just a prospect, it's hard to tell. I don't think the league has adjusted to him quite yet. 43% strikeout rate. 5 starts.
That's pretty good. Anyway,
6 starts. Yeah. I don't know who that guy is. I think he needs to prove himself a bit more.
never heard of her. But yeah, Jacob deGrom. Is he still on your fantasy team? Didn't you pick him up, or didn't you draft him?
Yeah, in that other league where I had Tatis too. Yeah, that's finally paying off. It would be sick if Tatis wasn't an idiot, but yeah, that league the whole year I've just been fighting not to be in last place. Right now I'm in 11th out of 15 teams. So yeah, pretty solid, especially it's my first year in a league like that deep, that format, that website with people that are actually like also writing about baseball and stuff. So it's been a grind this year, but I've learned a lot. I think next year I've got a shot at just being, the best fantasy baseball player they've ever seen.
Absolutely. This is the data year.
Yes. Yeah. Gotta collect the data, and then next year I turn it into results.
Moving on to the strikeout leaders of the month. We'll mention Mr. deGrom again, but we'll start with Tristan McKenzie, who's gotten a couple of mentions on the last few pods.
Uh-huh.
Tristan McKenzie led the AL with strikeouts, and that's crazy because he's not a big strikeout guy. But yeah, he led the AL in strikeouts 43.
Yeah, he's becoming a really good pitcher. Obviously, but the Guardians have just been really good they've always been really good at getting the most out of their pitchers. I think the main reason for him leading the American League in strikeouts is his 4th start in August. It was against the Chicago White Sox. He went 7 innings. He allowed 6 hits and 2 earned runs. He didn't walk anybody, but he struck out 14 batters. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think he struck out 12 in the past. He has some games where he just goes crazy. I think he's got 2 double-digit strikeout games this season. One of them is 12 and one of them is 14. So when he's got it going, he really just mows down hitters. He had 25 whiffs and a 43.6% CSW in that start against the White Sox. And that curveball was just murdering people, and the fastball. He just gets I think it's the extension because he's super tall. Yep. So it's he doesn't have to throw that hard for it to look 100 miles per hour,
87th percentile in extension, according to Baseball Savant.
There you go.
15th percentile in curve spin. Wow. I guess he's a million feet tall, so he just kind of throws it straight down.
Yeah, super tall and super skinny. He's 6'5", 165. I'm heavier than he is, and I'm 5'10".
God dang.
Yeah.
Well, strikeout leader, Jacob deGrom. Never heard of him.
Just some guy.
Just some guy. Yeah, Jacob deGrom. What did he get? What did he have in his last game against the Dodgers? 7 innings. And that struck out 9. It's kind of a bad game for him. Yeah.
deGrom. Nothing special.
Yeah, nothing special. deGrom, Is Jacob deGrom like the single best pitcher the last years? What do you think? 5, 10?
Sort of have to pull him up. I feel like it's been since like 2017.
So it'd have to be like the past 5 years.
Yeah, it's at least the last 5 years. I think it's like 6 years because he's just been incredible and he just keeps getting better. I don't know. It's like he's an alien. I don't know how he's doing it. It's pretty unfair.
My favorite thing about DeGrom is generally that he just kind of throws 2 pitches, but they're so unhittable that it doesn't matter what else he throws.
93 mile per hour slider velocity.
Yeah, just pretty bog standard if you ask me. Every now and then he'll throw a changeup.
Zach Greinke's jealous.
Yeah, I wish Zach Greinke was still good. Still playing baseball.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. DeGrom's probably a Hall of Famer at this point. It's got to be.
We will see because Johan Santana's not.
Well, see if DeGrom can kind of carry it on. Like he's got to be like pretty close, right?
In terms of Baseball Reference WAR.
Yeah, and B WAR
Or
is like
just-
just 40. In B WAR is 44 B WAR.
44 B WAR, and on
I think like
Fangraphs he's 40.6.
Probably like 3 more good seasons, and I think you have to really be like, like this guy's probably got to be in.
Johan Santana has 5 more WAR than him according to Fangraphs.
I don't know.
And his career was done after 33, so DeGrom's on that path somewhat.
DeGrom's already 34.
He
him
didn't
beat.
start pitching till he was 26.
Got him beat.
Johan was in the league at 21. Yeah, we'll see. I it's like a good comparison, but I think DeGrom is even more dominant than Santana.
I think so too. Moving on to our last thing we'll talk about. F4 leaders for pitchers. AL 2 tied at 1.4. Justin Verlander doing Justin Verlander things again at the ripe old age of 39. And then Young Buck for the Seattle Mariners, George Kirby. How old is he? 24. George Kirby, 24. 1.4 F4. That's almost all of his WAR for the season. He's got 2.3 on the season, and 1.4 of it came in the last month. He was just on a tear.
Yeah, no, it's all about the walks for him. He just doesn't walk anybody. 3.3% of the batters he faced reach base via the base on balls, which is the third lowest amongst starting pitchers, which is pretty incredible, especially for a guy that young. Like, you want somebody who's able to locate their stuff, and maybe he doesn't have the best command, but he does have great control, meaning he doesn't throw pitches out of the zone. Command is like putting it where you want, whereas control is like, can you put it in the zone at all? And he's able to do that. And sometimes he gets hit, but most of the time he's able to work around stuff. And it's mostly just because he just locates stuff in the zone. His stuff isn't that crazy or anything, but he's making it work.
Absolutely. And the NL leader in F4 for pitchers. DeGrom with his 55 strikeouts somehow didn't quite get there. Zach Gallen, 1.7 F4.
Pretty incredible. Zach Gallen having a freaking month of August. Yeah, happy birthday to me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, before we hit the standings check-in real quick, as the sort of last thing we do today, the last thing we do ever in our lives, there have been tons of prospects called up in the last month. We talked about both Brett Beatty and Shea Langeliers in the last pod on the 17th, but those are the 19th and 36th ranked pitchers or prospects according to MLB Pipeline. And since then, we've had a ton more. Also, before then, we also had some, but the two biggest ones were this number 2 and number 3 prospects according to MLB Pipeline: Gunnar Henderson of the Baltimore Orioles and Corbin Carroll of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pretty sick. Love to see them get up. I think the main reasoning for this, from what I've been listening to other podcasts, is that if you can get these guys some seasoning now, while it doesn't really matter like what your season is. I mean, obviously the Orioles still have some playoff aspirations, but for the Diamondbacks, it's just, let's get Corbin Carroll some MLB playing time so that next year he can win the Rookie of the Year award, because with the new CBA, teams get a draft pick if their player wins Rookie of the Year or finishes top 3, right? So now teams are sort of incentivized to want to have their players win Rookie of the Year rather than hold them back for that service time, because you can get a draft pick and then maybe you'll get 2 Corbin Carrolls, but you never know. So that's pretty sick to see those 2 guys coming up. How are you feeling about the future of baseball coming up in September right now?
I love that. Gunnar Henderson also got called up in time so that if the Orioles potentially make the playoffs, he will actually be eligible to make the postseason roster.
Yep.
He hit right at the cutoff, which is really cool. And I hope the Orioles do make it, as long as it's not at the expense of kicking the Mariners out. But I hope they make it. That'd be really cool for baseball. Hit a dinger in his first game. Helmet fell off. Awesome locks. Blowing in the breeze. Sweet Baltimore breeze. Running the bases. Just really cool. Corbin Carroll, I think, also ended up hitting it's like a game tying, or was it a go-ahead double or something like that in their game?
They had like a huge comeback the other day. I think he hit like a go-ahead double, but then the next day he hit the furthest hit ball of the whole entire day, like 439 feet. You know what that center field looks like in Chase Field?
Yes.
That massive wall, it didn't get out. 439
Really?
feet. It hit off the wall, like, because that yellow line is so high up there. So like the projected distance is 439. So it hit off like the top of the wall. Yeah. He probably like hit it and he was just like, oh my God, I crushed that. And then it's just like, dink. Like, all right, cool. You get a double. But yeah, pretty sick. Both of those guys are very legit prospects.
Absolutely. Future baseball is in good hands. Hopefully we'll see more big prospects getting called up for September call-ups. Just fun. It's always fun to see the next wave of guys come through and become stars. Yeah. Especially for teams that like really need them, like the Diamondbacks. Like I hope Corbin Carroll's like a stud for them, even though it kind of be at your expense. But like the Diamondbacks are like, nobody really hates the Diamondbacks, do they?
Diamondbacks fans, maybe.
Yeah, but like they deserve to have like a player to build around. That will make them exciting and get fans to actually come see them, so baseball can grow. It's good for the sport.
Yeah,
so,
honestly. Now that I think about it, it's honestly sick the way baseball does it. Because, people always complain about like, oh, when you have the draft, like these guys aren't going to come up for a few years. But in other sports, you don't see guys getting called up throughout the year. You don't see like, oh, this random dude gets called up and like becomes like sick, or like this prospect we didn't think was going to make it, like Vaughn Grissom or Michael Harris. Yeah, but it's also like in basketball or whatever, you have the draft and then those players debut with the team on opening night, right? Mm-hmm. And then they're there the whole season. It's never like, oh, like when is LaMelo Ball gonna like play this season? It's just, but it's like for that, it's baseball. It's just all year long. If you're a fan of baseball, not just one team, you're always waiting for like the next prospect to come up. Where it's like in basketball, it's like it's dope because you get to see them and they're gonna make an impact right away out of college. But it's like it's the beginning of the season, everybody makes their debut, and then it's like, all right, we'll see. Like, obviously they have the G League and stuff, but it's like the big prospects or the big players that are coming out of college are all going to be on the team right from the start. Whereas in baseball, they need to have some seasoning in the minor league. So it's just like you're always having a wave of somebody next. It's like once Gunnar Henderson and Corbin Carroll are off the top prospect list, then it's like somebody else moves up and you're then pumped for somebody else.
Then it's like, Oswald Peraza got called up today. Like, if you're a Yankees fan, like that's something you've been hoping for like all season. There's so much fanfare around it where it's like, when, like you said, when will these guys come up? Like, it's not like a one-time thing. It's something like, man, you kind of keep up with them all year and they're like, man, I can't wait for this guy to be here. I can't wait for him to come up. It comes up and it's a huge event. It's a huge event to see like what you're hoping to be the guy for your team. Just like coming out of almost like the guys coming out of the Field of Dreams, like coming out of the cornfield. Like here I am to save your team. It's cool. I love it. Hopefully the Cubs will call up some of their guys, so I can watch them, because I don't think they've announced. I think they called up Jeremiah Estrada, but he wasn't a top 30. So like it's fun to see guys like that come up. Like I know you're really excited about, the Giants' top prospects debuting, of course.
And the A's just called up Ken Waldichuk, and they had Langeliers, like I said earlier. So yeah, they've been. It's always a fun time to see some top prospects get called up. Waldichuk pitched today. I had him on my fantasy team. It was his debut. He was facing the AAA Washington Nationals. He went 4.2, 5 hits, 1 earned, 4 walks, 6 Ks. So he didn't have the best command, but he didn't get the L because the game went extra innings, and the A's are probably going to get the win. Dope. Yeah. Well, let's hit the standings real quick before we put an end to the podcast, put an end to Free baseball forever. No, I'm joking. We'll hopefully be back within the next few days as we try to get onto a more regular schedule. But I don't know. You pulling it up on your phone?
I have it up on the app. I was looking if there's any more news for call-ups today. I have it up on my computer.
I think the only other call-ups today was I know one. Spencer Steer. Oh, I wanted to talk about that. I'm sure we'll cover it when we talk about where the trade deadline guys have ended up and how they've been doing, because that's something we're going to discuss in a future time. I put that on the title of the podcast. So hopefully it's not misleading, which it probably will be because we didn't talk about that at all. But do you remember when we were talking about Future Stars game and we said name one player on each team that could get traded?
Spencer Steer was the guy that got traded.
That was the guy said he was going to go to the A's. He didn't. He went to the Reds, but he got traded, and now he's up with the Reds. And I don't know. I'm just a genius. I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Isn't he like a 26-year-old rookie?
No.
I feel like there was something that we talked about him for.
Because
He was an A's. He's an A's guy, like, right?
He was on the Twins, and now he's on the Reds.
He's
But I thought
24.
he was going to get. He's 24. I thought he was going to get traded to the A's because he's got good plate discipline. But now he's on the Reds, and now he's in the major leagues. So, but it was pretty cool because that was like the only guy I said in the American League. I was like, he's going to get traded. Said to the A's, but he got traded, and that's fine for Tyler Mahle.
Forgot the Reds even traded Tyler Mahle.
Forgot the Reds.
Yeah, I forgot the Reds existed. Let's go some NL standings. Leading the entire NL in wins, the Dodgers. I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's Dodgers.
Boo! They're at 90 wins already. They're 18 games ahead of second place. They probably are going to clinch really soon, and that's just wonderful. That's just exactly what everybody wants to see. And yeah, just I love the Dodgers. Love me some Dodgers. The Giants are terrible.
Jake loves that.
Giants have the same record as the Diamondbacks. What the?
But they got a better record than the Cubs. That's got to count for something.
No, it doesn't.
They're 2-8 in their last 10. That's pretty bad.
That's so bad. Oh my lord.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Giants are terrible.
worst team in the NL currently, the Nationals. Who would have thought trading all?
Bro, they were literally the worst team, and then they traded away Juan Soto and Josh Bell. Like I don't know what they expected.
Yeah, they're awful.
They're so bad.
Yeah, real bad at baseball. Mets leading the NL East, of course. I mean, they're kind of a buzzsaw.
It's
Braves,
close though.
really
3.5
close.
games.
Yeah, like 80 and 51, 3.5 games right behind them. Braves making the big ads deadline and getting the big extensions, making all their players stick around for the rest of time. Yeah,
Yep.
Moving on to the American League, Yankees falling apart. Absolute trash can team.
Honestly, sort of, yeah. They were like on pace to break the major league wins record, and now they're only 6 games ahead of the Rays. Like it'd be crazy if the Yankees didn't win the division, and it's actually in the cards right now if they continue to be pretty meh and the Rays or the Blue Jays go off. But yeah, it's been a pretty bad month for the Yankees.
Yeah, the Rays are 8-2 in their last 10. So
Yes,
they're on a tear.
impressive.
Best record in the American League is the Astros with 84 wins. And they're just the best team in the AL. I don't really even think it's close. Like the Yankees had an argument, but they fell apart. Like the Astros are, in my mind, so much better than them. It really isn't much of a debate.
Hard to beat Framber Valdez, bro.
Yeah, he's the GOAT. But yeah, Yankees leading the AL East, only 6 games ahead of the Rays, 8 games ahead of the Blue Jays. The Guardians, though, the Cleveland Guardians, we trashed them before the start of the season because they signed nobody.
They deserved it, bro.
They did, and they're like, we'll show you, dum-dums, on your.
They're not even trying to win, and then the Twins and White Sox are doing their best, and they can't beat them. Embarrassing.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That division race is going to be really exciting. The White Sox are 4.5 games back, and the Twins are 1.5 games back. So like any 3 of those teams can win. Any one of those 3 teams, not all 3 of them, can win the division, and none of them are like super crazy. Like they're barely over 500. Most of them, the White Sox are under 500. So, I mean, that's going to be an interesting race. Everybody probably thought the White Sox were a shoo-in, so it's going to be cool to see how that turns out.
Yeah, it's really fun to see that it's really fun to see that the Chicago White Sox decided to skip straight to like the 2019 version of the Chicago Cubs rebuild, where they just can't win anymore and they just don't know how to play baseball. So that's really fun to watch from my perspective. Yeah. So worst team in the AL. Who do you think it is, Jake?
I know who it is.
Who is it? The Oakland Athletics. It's not that bad though. They got a chance. They got a chance to not be the worst.
Hey,
team.
bro, I made a bold prediction on this podcast that I guessed it on, and I said they wouldn't have the worst record in the American League. So, Tigers are pretty terrible.
The Tigers only have one more win than them, and I think I think for what they are, the Tigers are more embarrassingly bad than the A's.
They're trying to win. Yeah, the A's are actively losing. Yeah,
the A's are trying to lose and they're succeeding. The Tigers are trying to win and they're failing. So
let's go. Yeah, we're gonna get a great draft pick and we're gonna love it. It's gonna be wonderful.
Hey, my man. So
we're gonna get Kyler Murray, baby. Draft him in the first round. Let's go.
Take him again.
I'm sure he'll change his mind now. Yeah.
Sick idea. So that's all we got for standings. That's all we got for the league check-in. Gonna skip the closer.
I don't even have a closer again. It's
no closer.
Once we're on a regular, it's a position player again. Once we're on a regular schedule, we'll be getting the closers back in to close things out. Or I might just have to let that be used for the reliever podcast idea. Just steal my own idea.
Hey man, what the? But yeah, no closer for the day. Jake's got to go to his next podcast, which you should definitely check out. Where can they check it out, Jake?
It'll be on pitcherlist.com, and also it's on like every podcast app, like Spotify, whatever, all the other ones people use, Apple. It's on the PitcherList Podcast Network. It's called In the Pen, ITP. I'm the interim host, but I'm going to be staying on as the regular host returns next week.
Oh, sick. So make sure you check out Jake's next podcast. Make sure you read all of his stuff at pitcherlist.com. Make sure you read all of his stuff at baseballhq.com. And make sure, of course, you read all of his stuff and all of the rest of our guys' stuff at the athleteshub.org.
Let's go.
Yeah, I didn't mess it up, baby. Let's go. So make sure you check out all the stuff on the athleteshub.org. You can check out me at my social media where I tweet a bunch of garbage. It's at DVSBird. That's me, Davis Bird. You can check out Jake Crumpler at Jake Crumpler on the internet at twitter.com. And our third host, that is very seldom here, but he's here in spirit all the time, Isaiah 2896. So
we're a Yankees podcast at heart.
We're a Yankees podcast at heart, just to give Isaiah a hard time. That's the whole point. We made this podcast. Great time. That's all we got for today. Make sure you check back with us. Hopefully next Monday, where we'll have our podcast back on our normal schedule because we've been kind of like blowing it for a while. That's all we got for today.
No, we're killing it, bro.
We're getting there. Maybe we'll get the 30th episode in about 3 months. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. See you next year for episode number 30. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's all we got for today. Check us next time. Bye.